Hello there everyone. Today I'm going to walk you through how we transformed this rundown old home just outside Melbourne, Victoria that was leaking like a sieve with a 27.7 air changes per hour and a measly 3.1 NatHERS star rating into a beautiful, comfortable and sustainable home down to as low as 7.7 air changes per hour and up to 6.1 NatHERS star rating, all while keeping 90% of the building's fabric. I'd first like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which I speak to you today and give my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So let's dive right in. Now let's cut to the chase. This home was a shocker in terms of energy efficiency. It was blustery as all buggery. As previously mentioned, a pre-renovation blower door test revealed that the home was leaking like a sieve with 27.7 air changes per hour. Now to put that in context, that's like a truck is driven through the wall of the living room and left a 2 meter by 2 meter hole. That's the size of the leak we're talking about. We also performed a pre-renovation NatHERS assessment, which rated the home a measly 3.1 in the NatHERS star rating. Now, to be honest, we've seen worse. This isn't so bad, considering the average Australian home rates a pathetic 1.8 NatHERS stars. This home's nearly double the average. But let's talk about the client's brief. The clients were a young family, 2 infant children, and they needed more space for their growing family. And look, the home was, as I've said, the home was pretty bloody ordinary. So this home was 2 bed, 1 bath. The brief was a 4 bed, 2 bath, plus a bath on the roof. Yes, you heard that right, a bath on the roof. Nothing wrong with that. Now this home had a lot going for it. It was in a lovely, quiet cul-de-sac in the sunny suburb of Coburg North, close to Merry Creek. Had a really welcoming neighbourhood feel, and the mid-century appeal of the home was really strong. Had beautiful slimline steel windows, which a lot of designers and architects love, not so good thermally. Had the beautiful cream clinker bricks that were highly desirable, the post-war Melbourne, and the foundations were in great condition. What the home didn't have going for it had north to the front, which is the most challenging orientation in our southern hemisphere for any passive solar design. Had barely any insulation, except a few skerricks in the ceiling. I don't even know where they came from. And the double brick walls, of course, always make it challenging, much more challenging than a lightweight timber structure to maneuver walls and reconfigure the home to suit. So we made the decision early to keep as many brick walls as we could. And the steel windows, as nice as they were only single glazed, and our intention was to replace these with Rylock double glazed aluminium windows. Now from the get-go, we knew we'd have some fun with this one. The project was primed for some huge improvements, and the clients were super open and had a great brief. Really our ideal client, willing to work with us and create a real sustainable home. So here's where we landed with the design. You can see this is the demolition plan. You can see very minimal demolition in trying to keep as many of those existing double brick walls as we could. We have also removed the fence there and replaced with a lovely timber fence. And here's our roof demolition plan, where we've cut out the south part of the home to make way for our first floor extension. Ground floor concept. So as you know, keeping a lot of these walls, renovating the laundry, kitchen, and we also did renovate the bathroom and water closet there, combining the two, and of course insulated all through here, all double brick walls. And of course, all the windows you'll see here were made to be double glazed. Here's where we've added an extension to the southwest side of the home and added our staircase, which is a great location for the staircase. But notice this is a zoned staircase. Now, those grand open staircases, they look fantastic, but please note that they are terribly thermally for your home. If we're trying to keep our living, kitchen and dining warm, which that's where we spend most of our time living, and we've got a big old open stair. We've got heat just traveling straight up that stairwell like a thermal chimney. Zone your stairs and you'll keep the heat where you need it. And so this obviously connects the home really well with the first floor, with the living and dining, which is the center piece of the home. You can also see these double doors facing north onto our what we called our European terrace, which had lovely brickwork, the old cream clinkers, this curved feature of the staircase, and also we've got a large brick wall for some really nice privacy from the street. This is the homeowner's private sort of terrace. And then up to the first floor, you can see we've got two generous size bedrooms, generous size bathroom. We have highlighted this storage area here, which we made accessible for the clients. Everybody's in need of more storage, and we allowed a pull down ladder there for access. You can also see the generous day bed here, which you can just sneak views of the top of the city of Melbourne. And you can also watch the bat migration that the kids love to watch. And so it's a great viewing deck here. And also, dare I miss it, but the rooftop terrace here in lieu of the bath on the roof, it'll look fantastic once that grows out and starts falling over our curved brick feature there. Now it gets really interesting. Now let's take a look at the application and the particular improvements that we made to this home to achieve such a great result. We'll start off with the extension, the first floor extension particularly. Now that's pretty typical. We used our typical wall system, 140 millimeter walls with a ventilated cavity. This allows for R4 insulation in the walls, and the ventilated cavity with Proclimer wrap allows vapor to move through the wall system while keeping any moisture that originates from outside the home, keeps it outside. What I also love about this first floor extension is we applied corrugated zinc cladding. Now I love corrugated zinc for a number of reasons. First, it's super durable. Second, it's super low maintenance and perfectly suited to our busy lives, especially on a first floor. Nobody wants to be erecting a scaffold in 5 or 7 years' time to repaint. And it's self-shading. Now this is a new concept to me, and bear with me, I'll try to explain. Now the ripples in the material allow the material to shade itself. So imagine I'm flashing a moonie at the sun, directing straight at the sun. But I've got sun shining on both cheeks equally. I move to the side a little bit and I've got the sun only on one cheek. It's not double the sun, it's the same amount of sun, but the other cheek's got no sun. Therefore, my overall butt is cooler than it otherwise would have been. I like it. We also applied these beautiful red cedar shingles that everybody fell in love with. You can see them here, and we didn't apply anything to them at all. We typically apply the Q-Tech or Intergrain. The clients opted to let them weather and age as we all do. Love it. We kept the ceilings to this first floor on the pitch, and we used double glazed aluminium windows from Rylock. Now to the fun part, the renovation. Now we're dealing with double brick walls with no insulation, single glazed steel windows, and insulation under subfloor and ceiling was non-existent. We also had a tiled roof, which we often like to replace, but through the value management process with the client, we elected to keep the tiled roof and identify it as something that the owner can do later on, and it's not so intrusive on their living conditions. So first cab off the rank, we've got the double brick walls. Now, a lot of people talk about blowing insulation into a cavity between a double brick wall. Now we knew that if these double brick walls had a cavity at all, it'd be so minute that blowing insulation would be useless. In this case, we opted for an insulation-backed plasterboard from Kingspan. It's K17 Cool Therm, and we used the 60mm option, and it has an R rating of 2.35, very respectable. So we've taken these walls from no insulation at all. Now they have an R 2.35 rating. So it's a very, very good result. Next up, we have this steel single glaze windows. Now our plan for these were to remove and replace with Rylock double glazed aluminium windows. Although on further inspection, once we got to site, we realized that these steel window frames were welded to the lintels above. So that threw that plan completely out the window. So since we had to leave these windows in place, we decided, well, next best was to upgrade the glazing units. So we decided to remove the single glazing, sandblast the windows back, and repaint them like new. Our design team were very happy with this outcome, but it wasn't so straightforward as that. Now the putty used to install windows like this, around mid-century, just like timber windows, the putty often contains asbestos. So first we had to get the putty tested for asbestos. Fortunately, no asbestos found. Ahead we went and removed the putty and got the team at Quinn's Painting in to sandblast the steel frames back and make them like new. I can tell you what, stay away from that sandblaster. That thing touches your skin and you'll wish you got sunburned. So now we have an insulated external fabric and a double glaze window system. We're doing well. Now all that's left to improve is under our floor and in our ceiling. And that was relatively straightforward. Of course, ceiling insulation. We had plenty of room in the ceiling space to apply R6 insulation bats. And under our floor, we had plenty of space as well, but we did elect in this case, we had to deal with some compromised footings. So we removed the existing timber subfloor and rectified those footings and applied polyester bats R2.5. Then we laid chipboard back down over our bearers and joists, and we applied my favorite timber floor over the top of that in recycled mesh. And this allows for a really solid feeling floor. Instead of that one layer that we've got in so many homes, now we've got a 40mm floor layer. It feels almost like a solid concrete slab. So there you have it. That's how we transformed this rundown old mid-century home in Melbourne, Australia that was leaking like a sieve with 27.7 air changes and 3.1 NatHERS star rating, down to only 7.7 air changes per hour and up to a 6.1 NatHERS star rating. The owners are happy, we're stoked. Thank you to all our suppliers and trades, and of course our internal team, but most importantly our clients. Thanks for entrusting us with this project. It's one we're really, really proud of, and you can see the images here. It's a super beautiful home and really stands out in its neighborhood. So if you live in one of these cold old double brick homes, I hope this video's helped. If you know someone who does, send this their way. I hope with their next renovation, it can help them with some tips to improve the thermal comfort of their home. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Don't be a stranger, and be sure to check out Sustainable Homes Melbourne and the Sustainable Builders Alliance. There's plenty more information like this coming your way. It's all from me. Until next time.